Stop!
He begged the attacker to spare his wife and daughter, but the next second, the man rushed forward and tackled the criminal to the ground. Meanwhile, his wife couldn't find their daughter. She turned and saw something heartbreaking downstairs. She lost all strength to go on. The air instantly filled with a crushing sadness. After that day, Misson felt trapped in a never-ending loop. No matter how hard he tried to release the pain, not a single tear would fall from his eyes. A year-long investigation followed. It turned out the masked man was a mentally unstable stranger, with no connection to Misson. He had simply chosen that mother and daughter at random in a crowd, and carried out a senseless attack without warning. A year later, Misson quit his million-dollar job, and became a cab driver on ordinary city streets. He hoped the freedom of driving might help him briefly forget the suffocating grief. During his shifts, he liked listening to the stories of his passengers. Whenever someone proudly talked about their kids, Misson would force a smile and pretend to share their joy. But deep down, he began questioning himself. Did he truly love his family? If the tragedy had never happened, would he have felt proud of his daughter like that father did? Would he still have cherished his wife the same way? One day, two women got in his cab, sobbing uncontrollably. He overheard them rushing to the hospital. Their father had been in an accident. Their raw grief pierced through even Misson's hardened heart. Not knowing what to say, he just floored the gas pedal, desperate to get them there in time for a final goodbye. After that ride, Misson took several days off, but instead of going home, he returned to the rooftop he had come to hate, and replayed the voice message his wife recorded just before she passed. Even though he claimed to hate his old life, the memories they shared had become his only treasures. He recalled the day before the tragedy. Buried in work pressure, he drifted away from his family. His wife threatened divorce just to force him to attend their daughter's dance recital. It was the first time he'd ever watched her perform, and without realizing, he joined in, dancing along. That was one of the few truly joyful moments of his life. But now, it was all too late. All he could do was hold on to faded photos, wishing he could feel them in his arms again. One day, a girl who looked just like his daughter appeared in his car. For a moment, his heart started beating again. She knocked gently on his window. That's when he realized it was just another illusion. But the family that got into his cab gave him déjà vu. The couple looked loving on the surface, yet they kept arguing non-stop. Both resented their life, and completely ignored the little girl sitting silently between them. Misson saw it all, but he couldn't do anything, because he too had once been selfish and proud, until even regret was no longer an option. At their destination, the parents were still yelling, not even noticing their daughter. Misson got out to help with their luggage, and glanced at the sad little girl. He hesitated, then softly said hello. She didn't reply, just walked past him with a faint, bitter look. In that instant, memories of that day came flooding back. The girl must have sensed something, because she suddenly turned around and wrapped her arms around him. That single hug shattered everything. All the strength he had faked for so long collapsed like a crumbling wall. He broke down, crying in agony. The wife and daughter he once took for granted were now gone forever, and in that moment, he finally understood. He didn't stop loving them. He had just buried it too deep, too